You don't realize how much danger you are in. Now that I, 23F, am back from Germany, I've had some time to reflect on my trip. But it's hard to think positively, considering what happened to me on the last night in Stuttgart, and I'd like a place to talk about it. I'd spent about 2 weeks traveling around Germany for the Euros, and considering how many fellow Scotland fans were there for the games, I never felt completely alone, despite being a solo traveler in a foreign country. I guess I became too trusting of the older groups of Scots who'd buy me drinks and chat with me all night about where they were from and who they knew. Just typical Scottish chats. I let my guard down. That last night in Stuttgart started like most other nights in Germany. I'd be by myself and get noticed by a group of older men or women who'd ask who I was with. When they heard I was alone, they'd remark on how brave I was as a good-looking lassie, being there on my own. I'd then be welcomed into the group, drinking, celebrating, and that night, even crying with them after Scotland lost. Determined to enjoy my last night, I said goodbye to my new friends, put on a short white dress, draped my Scotland flag over my shoulders, and went out looking for a good place to drink and dance with strangers I'd never meet again. I met a few people that night, but it was when I was alone that I met him. "That bag's bigger than you are," I heard a jolly older man say as he wandered over to me. It was true. I had my rucksack with me that night. "Where's your boyfriend to carry it for you?" "Not sure yet, still deciding if he's going to be German or Scottish," I quipped with a smile. Most of my interactions would start this way, with a friendly exchange leading to an offer to come drink with a group. After offering to take me to a nearby Irish pub to drink with him and his family, I graciously accepted, and we began walking. He kept exaggerating how incredible he thought it was that I was doing this trip alone, bowing to me and excitedly telling passers-by how brave I was. I'd smile awkwardly and try to change the subject. I wish I could say alarm bells were ringing, but they weren't. After all, he just seemed like a wee Scottish grandpa, one of many I'd met that night. He started asking if I had a place to sleep that night, adding that his family had room in their hotel if I needed it. "I wouldn't force myself on you or anything," he said. I froze. It was so unexpected. I looked at him for the first time since I'd met him. He was a relatively short man, taller than me, with a larger build and wrinkles to match the white hair poking out from under his Scotland cap. He quickly explained how he knew I'd be cautious about that sort of thing, being a smart girl, and that I could trust him. But then he repeated that he wouldn't force himself on me. I laughed nervously, feeling the effects of all the beer I'd had earlier drain away. I began taking in my surroundings. "Where did you say your family was again?" I asked. "Just in an Irish pub up this hill." So like I was saying, I wasn't really paying attention to him. We were still on Stuttgart's main street, but fewer people were around as we walked. Then I heard something that jolted me. I must have missed it the first time, so I politely asked, "Sorry, what did you say?" "That I'm vegetarian. Because I killed my 44th man in a vegetable field." "Oh! I've been deployed to loads of countries. The first 6 lives I took were in Ireland." My blood ran cold. I'm a descendant of Irish immigrants who fled to Scotland to escape the brutality of the Troubles in Ireland. Had this man killed members of my family? Killed 12 in Iraq. I only caught parts of his rambling as I began desperately planning my escape, locking eyes with every person who walked by. There weren't many. We'd almost reached the top of the main street. "Why are you so tense all of a sudden?" he asked, snapping me back to the conversation. "You know I can read you like a book. I'm doing all this for you, see? I want to protect you. And, Molly, I can guarantee right now, you don't realize how much danger you're in." I felt a gentle tap on my shoulder and spun around to see a young German man smiling at me. "Scotland," he said, gesturing to my flag. "I love Scotland. Is there anywhere to eat around here?" I blurted out, staring at him, praying I'd turn around and the old man would be gone. Brief confusion crossed the German's face before the older man began clumsily jumbling up a few words in German. "Essen," I whispered. The young man pointed in the direction we'd come from. "There's a McDonald's down there." I turned back to the old man, whose expression had gone blank, as if he were staring through me, like I was no longer there. I felt a shiver down my spine and managed to smile. "I'm going to grab something to eat, but I'll meet you at the Irish pub later." As if snapping back to his jovial self, the man said, "Now don't be like that. I'm off to a rave just now. I'm playing at it. You don't want to miss it." "I'll catch it later," I said with a forced smile. His face dropped back into a blank stare before he turned and walked off. I think the German man called after me, but I didn't hear him. I kept my head down and walked wherever my feet would take me. I don't remember how I got to the train station or how I made it back to the hostel. There were no Irish pubs in Stuttgart, or at least none in that direction. To all solo female travelers, never say you're traveling alone. To the German man, thank you. And to the Scottish man, let's not meet again.